Hello and welcome to Critical Questions, the antidote to lockdown boredom. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, interesting, ridiculous and dumb questions I could find, and that's the old line I used to say, which means I've changed it. And with any luck, my guests will be able to answer all of them. Today we have with us Jen from Jen's Lil Corner, Jeff, the Godless Scummer.
Hi, lovelies.
Right.
Sal, who is slightly AFK, and Bill and his nan. And I didn't get the name of his nan.
Hello, say hello, Nanny.
Hello. What'd you say, Nanny? Nanny works.
Nanny works.
Hi, Nanny.
Okay, we shall start with the first question and get rid of yesterday's question that I forgot to remove.
Hey, Julie.
Question 178. Would you rather be super fast or super strong?
Ooh. I think I'd rather be super fast. I'd certainly rather be the Flash than be the Hulk.
If those are the metrics we're going by, I think I'd sooner be the Hulk. But yeah.
Well, no, the Flash heals really, really fast. All the speedsters in there.
Well, I don't think healing was part of the actual question here. Healing ability was part of the
yeah, but
question.
super healing has to come with being super fast because you have to heal fast from all the damage you do to yourself by running fast.
Or do you drain out and, does it wear away?
Yeah. On top of that, you have to consume fuck tons of calories every day, so that's really, really good for losing weight.
Super strong.
I think I'm going to go with super strong, though.
See, I hadn't thought about it, right? But I'd have to go with super fast. Because short of being punching someone, short of actually trying to physically, anything else with a black block and tackle, you could do anything someone super strong could do as a super fast person.
Plus, you get all those extra benefits of the fast healing and everything that would have to go with it. Dave's going to say you can't have those, but you have to. If you move that fast, the injuries you do to yourself, you'd have to be able to heal them quickly.
Yeah, but if you couldn't heal them, I don't think you need to be able to have. I don't think you need to be able to have super healing. Bill.
Yeah, so you think super fast, don't you? Super fast, yeah. I think I'd probably go for super strong, to be honest. I think there's certain situations that super strength would be incredibly useful. But it's an interesting one, isn't it?
It is.
Why do you think you would be super fast, Nanny? What would be great about being super fast?
I don't like lingering about.
You don't like lingering about.
I love you, Nanny. I love you. Yeah.
Honestly, she's great.
Nerdy's going speed too. So I think we've decided that speed is better. All the ones that pick strong are wrong.
Fine.
No, I think there's too many. If you're going to base, you're talking about superpowers, so you're going to base them off cartoon type characters. I think you'd have to go with the powers that go with them. So, I mean, you don't have to necessarily go with the Hulk as the super strength. You could be Captain America as your super strong. But you're still going to be looking that there's too many extra benefits of going with being the super fast.
But you don't need to get those benefits. If you you don't have to have super healing. Yes, I know you might want them, but they weren't on the offering. I understand why there would be a need for super healing, but if you don't have that, you then have to deal with the consequences of not having of doing yourself injury when you go fast.
Well, that's true, but
you have to control it more. You can't use it freely.
I mean, you could also say it's not. You could also say that, and I think it's also been discussed in some of the comic books with speedsters, that it's not so much they heal super fast; it's that they have a system within them that protects themselves from their own speed. So if they get injured, they still heal at the same sort of speed, but they're protected from their own speed. So you could say it was that way. But I think you'd have to have that. Right? The concept that you'd have the super speed, but every time you did it, you screwed your entire body up. Just is a pointless ability. That's like you're super strong, but your bones aren't powerful enough to handle lifting the shit that your muscles are up to.
I've no problem with the fact that to have the super speed, that your metabolism would have to be faster, and healing would be some side effect of that. But I wouldn't think it would be super healing.
Well, I mean, that's how it is with the Flash. I mean, it's faster than normal people's healing, and it's better than normal healing in that there's some things will heal that probably wouldn't for a normal person because it's a side effect, and you kind of need that to be able to move at the speeds. So I know way too much about comic book characters.
Right, which makes it very dangerous for me to ask this question that Nerdy wants to know. Does Quicksilver heal?
What? Yeah, Quicksilver heals faster than normal as well.
Right, let's go to a more sane question. Question 179. What is the most unusual thing that you've ever collected?
Unusual? I don't know. There's not been many things I have actually collected. I used to collect Smurfs. I love Smurfs. And then some people would think that was unusual in and of itself. I don't know. I've been collecting Commodore 64s lately.
That's pretty unusual.
I've got 3 of them now.
That's hardly a collection. Although I'm not quite sure what constitutes a collection.
It is considering how hard they are to get.
I'm not sure what constitutes a collection. Dust. There you go.
Yeah. I'm not sure either.
Nerdy says he used to collect erasers. Are you talking about rubbers? Not like board erasers.
Rubbers?
Yeah.
Phasing?
We don't really call them. We don't really call them rubbers.
Dave. I know what you meant, Dave. Pencil erasers.
We don't tend to call Johnny's rubbers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an unheard of, but it's not. I don't think I've ever intentionally referred to one as a rubber. Theological introspection says Pokemon.
I don't know that Pokemon is an unusual collecting thing because lots of people go and play stupid Pokemon games and collect Pokemon.
And that's true. That's very true.
I used to collect badgers at one time. That's not that.
Wait there. Badgers or badges?
Badgers, not badgers. Yeah.
If you're collecting badges, is that why he's not in the chat at the moment?
Yes, he's in hiding. What sort of badges?
Just
fairy ones.
Just damn it, Jen. Yeah, just anything I used to collect. This was like when I was a kid. I used to do that.
See, what's disturbing is it's something I have not in any way, shape, or form remembered for a very long time. But I collected badges.
Yeah, I've collected stickers before. I used to like stickers of all varying sorts and that. So
yeah, I could probably say I collected stickers. I think I might have collected lots of things as a kid, actually.
I used to collect football stickers and that when I was a kid, every year. But that was hardly unusual. That was like it was a sort of every boy used to do that back then.
I did that for 1 year. I enjoyed that far more than the football that was on.
Yeah.
The only reason I know the name of any footballers when I was growing up was from that one sticker album.
Well, and then it's
what?
Then they got into then some of the albums or whatever got into saying releasing a set sort of ones every week. So they're saying you won't ever need to do swaps. I said, well, swaps was the fun of it.
Yeah. The sticker book was mostly irrelevant.
Yeah, the sticker book it was more to going in and taking and trading the ones if you had more than one of something, taking in and trading with your school friends to see that was the fun of it. And like whoever decided when they sort of decided to do that, that's kind of like for a year or two. It's like that took the fun out of it for me, and then I think they just went back to normal afterwards.
Cool. There is something I collect that is really cool though,
And I'm going to grab one.
Well, she had to get up, so we're safe. Julie said husbands, but she's not saying how many she's collected.
Yeah.
Man says one's enough.
How many swords have you got?
They're not all ninja swords. 3 full sets of the variant size ninjas. Most of these are display. They're not proper. One is a proper one. A whole heap of other swords. Some are legit. Some are just for display purposes. A couple of fantasy swords, but they're mostly actual replicas of real swords or actual proper real swords. Probably about 30.
So yeah, how exactly is it you started this entire thing saying you don't collect anything?
Yeah, because I forgot I collect swords.
How would you forget something like that, though?
Especially when they were sitting right in front. Well,
Yeah.
3 of them are up there in front of me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd collect swords. I also collect fans, but you can't see them in the way the camera is. You know how there's often
Yes.
a fan in the background.
Right.
Yeah, I collect fans as well. So.
I was going to say back when I used to ride motorcycles, I think speeding fines was something I used to seem to collect, but
It's not sharp, this one. I still reckon I could hurt someone with it, though.
Well, it's a piece of metal. Yes.
I used to
I
have
reckon I
like
could hurt
a,
someone a lot.
I used to have like a cutlass type sword actually somewhere, but I don't know if I still have it.
They
But
used to have an Indian Army ceremonial sword.
I have one, Dave.
Do you?
Yeah, you're talking about the flexible one?
No.
Oh, I've got the flexible version of it.
It was in an orange, kind of felty metal scabbard.
Oh, cool. So you've got the other model. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Well, firstly, I don't have it. I left it behind.
Aw, that's a shame.
Um,
Yeah, I've got one of those. I've got a damn it! I've got 2 guard type swords, which are like have the handle on the like cutlasses, but they're for parading. I've also got oh, far out! I can't remember what's called. The type of sword that the musketeers would have used. Mental blank.
rapier.
Yeah, I've got a rapier. A full length rapier, not the short one. So
aren't they like
with
dead
the
thin?
beautiful. Sorry.
Aren't they dead thin? Rapiers.
No, you get longer ones as well. You get the thicker type as well. So yeah.
Sammy says he collects YouTube content creators and he wants me to start his collection. I'm not in mint condition. Bill.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't really do much weird collecting. I collected rocks as a kid, and I do collect bladed weapons now. Nan's got a few interesting bits that she's collected over the years, haven't you? Yeah, like your dogs up there, which
Yeah.
we'll show you one of the dogs in a minute. She's got some interesting little dogs. My granddad was really the collector in the family, wasn't he?
Good, dreadful. Yeah, the whole room.
I like that dreadful.
Yeah, he was dreadful.
Wait, a collector or a hoarder?
Yeah, that's what my question was going to be. Collector or
A little bit of both, to be honest.
yeah.
Military memorabilia, like jigsaws,
Guns.
books, guns. Yeah, he, like
Guns.
filled the house, didn't he?
Yeah. And shoes.
You were always safe. You could shoot the burglars. Hold on, I'll grab one of the dogs. I'll show you the
Go on.
dogs.
You back yet, Sal?
Nope. Sammy, why don't you hop in? Make up the 6.
Oh,
that's quite a cool
someone's
dog.
ringing it. Just going to mute a second. Someone's.
Oh, that's
You're
cool.
muted, by the way.
Yeah, that's one of the dogs. My uncle that is a Baptist minister was a little bit offended by that dog for some reason. But we all thought it was quite funny.
I got this toad
Yeah, we got a soldier up there as well, and a farmer
with a gun.
with a gun. Yeah, there's a few of them. They're all great.
Oh,
Now I've got the sword down, I keep playing with it.
you would.
I actually haven't done any sword training for years, so I don't know if I'd be any good with it anymore.
I'm sure you could handle it. It's not
I'm
that
sure
big
I
a
could
one.
hurt someone. I mean, I was one grading off my black belt in Taekwondo, and I did do some weapons training as well, so I think I could defend myself with it if I had to.
Most people, again, it's the sort of thing that having that sort of weapon, most people run when they see someone with it.
Yeah! Especially if that person looks like they know how to use it.
We've got,
But I'm not a violent person. I think I would have to feel incredibly threatened to be able to pick one up and use it. So
yes. We've got this problem, and I've almost certainly told you. We've had guard dogs. Well, my dad's had guard dogs for 40 odd years. And they've always been German Shepherds or German Shepherd's Cross. Anyway, the dog he's got at the moment is useless. Right? However, I mean, as in useless, I mean it is soft as a brush. However, it looks vicious.
yeah.
And it barks. It's got a good deep bark. Right, but it literally will not hurt. It won't even look at someone. Right. So you, if you've ever had a guard dog, having them next to you gives you a level of confidence. Right. Given where I live, yeah, you can walk out with a group of literally yobs. Yeah, you can have 20 yobs and one Alsatian next to you that's well trained, and the yobs won't do anything because the dog is just stood there staring each one of them down.
Yeah.
Right, and the confidence you get from having that. I mean, I've run into the building with burglars in there, with the dog, without a care in the world. Yeah, that's
Generally speaking, most people are more afraid of you than you are of them.
yes.
Once you're at that point,
But the
you've
dog
got
is
some
fantastic because they're
confidence.
so fast. Anyway, so the dog he's got at the moment is absolutely useless. Okay. However, because he looks the part, as long as you keep him on a lead and pretend like he's vicious, it has the same
People
effect.
get freaky.
Yes. Right, so you just, every time, and he's excitable, so every time he tries to, you go, no, stay back, stay back, and it gives this effect, but you don't have the confidence. Not having the confidence that he's going to be, that he can handle himself and look after you, is what's missing.
I'm going to put the sword down before I hurt myself.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, guys. That was kind of an important call I had to take. So
That's okay. They've told you you've got to stay
okay.
another 6 weeks, haven't they?
no, but it is about medication actually. So I had to take it.
No, understandable. Julie said that Junk Shop and her collect books. See, I would say I used to collect books. I mean, I still have one hell of a book collection, but I don't go out of my way to collect them anymore.
I'd rather read online with my phone or something.
The problem I've got is I carried on collecting books after the point at which I was unable to read them, and I got a lot less joy out of them.
Well, are you at the point now, Dave, where by the time you get to the end of a book, you can't remember what the start was?
I've got no clue. By the time I get to the end of the page, I can't remember what the start of the page is. I mean, it's slightly better with online when I can read in a web browser because I can highlight where I go and I lose track a lot less. But I still really struggle.
I was so sure I was going to sneeze then.
Okay. Question 180.
I'm back.
Get Sal to answer the question.
Oh, first of all. Okay, we'll do that now. What was the most unusual thing that you've ever collected?
This is gonna sound weird. leaves. Like
Leaves?
different shaped leaves. Yeah, different shaped leaves. When I was a kid, I used to like pick different shaped leaves and keep them hidden. It was the stupidest, weirdest
No,
thing I did.
that's exactly the sort of thing.
But I mean, that's no different to people collecting shells, really.
No. Or pressing flowers, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it's a variant of pressing flowers, so I don't see that it's an unusual thing.
No.
I tried collecting butterflies once, but I could never bring myself to put the pin through them.
But you killed them fine.
Oh no, they had to be already dead. I still couldn't put a pin through them.
See, I don't think that's that unusual, but I think people used to. I mean, do kids collect things now?
I still collect T-shirts, like silkscreen T-shirts. I have a whole collection of silkscreen T-shirts that I still do.
Hey, Matt Big.
Morning.
I suppose I do collect T-shirts, although again, oddly enough, it's one of those things that I have been trying to reduce. I've basically been taking photographs of the T-shirts I collected and getting rid of the T-shirts. I have too much stuff.
I could agree there. I gotta get rid of some of my shit.
Hey, Matt Big. Hey, Matt Big.
Right. Got distracted.
Okay.
Right. Question 180. You're a mad scientist. What scientific experiment would you run if money and ethics weren't an issue?
Oh. Hang on, I missed the question.
Cloning of glamour models, perhaps.
Alright, what was the question again?
You're a mad scientist. What scientific experiment?
Oh, yeah, well, easily.
What scientific experiment would you run if money and ethics weren't an issue?
Brain transplants.
With which goal? Just get them working perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. You wouldn't have
That
to
way,
kill off many thousands of people, I reckon. To get it
well,
working.
that way if you... yeah, but I mean, if you've got someone who's brain dead but the body's alright, you can transfer somebody else's brain into that who's the other way around and... You know?
Tom said, genetically engineer a race of cat girls.
Might be okay.
He's a furry. I think Sammy was trying to get in, Dave, as well.
No. The reason he posted in the Twitter was to demonstrate why he wouldn't.
Ah, okay. I misunderstood.
Sal.
I was gonna go with something genetic, but I am leaning more towards something technical. Like something I would invest like all I could into recording dreams.
But there's nothing unethical about that.
Oh, you want it to be unethical? Oh,
Well, it's
okay.
if ethics and money weren't a concern.
Oh, okay. All right.
Recording
No,
people's nightmares then so you can play it back to them.
No, not necessarily. But no, then yeah, I would definitely see and test the extent of how much humans can endure pain.
Ooh.
See, that's evil.
Yeah.
With any particular aim, or you just want to inflict the pain?
I would just want to see the reaction, not even like inflicted. I just want to see what happens. Like, okay, if we do this, what happens?
Go
Can
on.
flat earthers fly? Let's find out.
That's a good one.
What
We
happens if
already
you?
know one of them tried to use a water-powered rocket, remember?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, bad taste. Bad taste.
example. Bad example.
Oh, we've lost Bill.
Yeah, he'll be right back.
Yeah.
I was surprised to learn that Aaron talked to him and knew him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he spoke to him.
Mm-hmm.
By all accounts, he was quite a nice guy.
Oh yeah.
Tom, I'd have to point out here that wouldn't you rather, if you want a fierce and loyal pet as a human anthropomorphic pet, wouldn't you want a dog girl, not a cat girl? Because there is nothing loyal about cats.
Mm-mm. My cat was loyal. Sorry.
Wait a minute. Is there something loyal about cats when they're in packs?
Yeah.
Especially the big cats.
Right. No, my cat was very loyal to me. Extremely loyal. It all depends on how you raise them.
Say again?
It all depends on how you raise them. That really has a lot to do with it.
Do you know the question, Bill? He's gone again.
Mad experiment. No, I'm here. The mad experiment thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd probably go for some kind of MK Ultra mind control thing. To be honest, because if you can control people's minds, you can control everything and anything.
Yeah.
We could really fuck some shit up.
We need money, people.
Like you could literally do anything you want. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
If you can actually control people's minds, the world is your oyster. You own everything. You know what I mean? That would be it.
What worries me? Okay, we already have the psychology to intentionally manipulate on a mass scale.
Oh yeah.
And I'm fairly certain that it's one of those things that's not talked about much outside of academia, but I'm fairly certain governments are heavily researching it.
Yeah.
Well, so MK Ultra was a real thing up until the 70s. It was an actual real thing that the US government admitted to doing.
But it was focused on an individual. Individuals rather than mass.
Right.
The problem is
the thing is, if you can control one mind, you can control them all. If you understand
you
the
can't.
workings of
That's the
one
point.
person's mind.
It's a statistical thing. You can't control every mind. You
was
need
like
to be able to abandon some.
It was like the speed they gave the soldiers in the World War. Each army, each country was trying their own stuff, and they realized that we can't do this because it makes a soldier ineffective. Like if you keep them up for too long. Yeah.
Right, wait there. Two things. Julie said, I'd experiment with downloading information directly into the brains, like languages.
Yeah, that's.
I don't see the negative of that.
No, but
No,
I could see.
I
I'd reckon you could progress the research a lot quicker if you were unethical about it.
Oh, I agree with you there.
And
that is
nerdy.
That's the thing with the question.
Carry on.
No, go on.
Well, nerdy said the problem with dog girls is they keep trying to sniff your butt.
I agree.
That's very true.
Right.
They also try to sniff your crotch.
Would they be classed as a different species?
Also, would it be bestiality?
That was my act. I was implying that question.
Also, if you guys can have your dog girls, do we get dog boys as well?
Well, is anything? Well, the point would be is that it would be a dog brain in a human body, effectively.
Yeah, it
So,
would
yes.
be bestiality, wouldn't it? And it'd be basically a sex slave, and it's kind of creepy.
Well, you see, no one's ever seen a dog turn into something that's not a non-dog, Ken.
I wonder where that would fit.
Yeah.
Right? I would, invest money in turning back time.
We know how to do that. Fly around the planet, spin it in another direction until then.
Hey, if Superman has taught us
You
anything.
watch too many Superman movies.
But you'd have the money to try it. Okay. You
Yes.
could technically like have a rocket do it, right? Like you could build something that would fastly spin the Earth.
No,
backwards.
I'm fairly certain that the amount of energy it would take to rotate the planet's orbit, to change the planet's
How
planet
about
rotation.
developing a virus that only attacks people with an IQ below a certain level?
No, that kills.
It
kids.
would mutate.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably, yeah.
Every generation, right? And don't forget, it can go through thousands of generations. Every generation, it would work out, and it would increase the IQ point by 1. So by the end of next week, everyone would be dead. But it would try and resurrect Einstein. Right.
That would probably also inevitably include people that you really wouldn't want it to include as well. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course it would. But we're talking about being unethical here.
Okay.
That's true. That's
Well,
true.
the thing is, it's not
I
necessarily
keep forgetting that.
it's not necessarily that the goal has to be unethical. It's the goal itself could be ethical. It's the methods as well. Isn't it?
Well, the goal could be to increase the average intelligence of the population, and weeding out those that are less intelligent would actually help evolution to breed more intelligent humans.
Evolution
kill us all.
still might not breed more in natural selection
but-
for more intelligence. Intelligence is not necessarily a good thing.
True. But again, we're talking...
Intelligent people don't seem to get on.
That's always true.
Right. Next question. Question 181. What is the most stupid thing you've done for love?
Oh, cried.
You say pride or cried?
Cried. Fuck that.
Fuck that.
To be honest,
Stayed with a man.
Stay with it.
Go, Jeff.
I think I don't know. I mean, it's difficult. That's a difficult one. I'll come back to me on that one.
Stayed with a guy who was emotionally abusive and raped me.
That's not a
There's
good
no
thing.
topping that, really, is there?
No.
I didn't think you would, but
I think an awful lot of people will come down on stayed with someone for longer than I should have done.
I
yeah.
think I'd come down on that one. Yeah, I probably would come down on that one.
I mean, there was mitigating circumstances. His personality changed because he got an infection of the spinal fluid, and I can't remember that, transverse myelitis, and it caused lesions on his brains, and it changed his personality. So
he was so you stayed with a completely different person.
I did. Well, not completely different, but he didn't have any filter controls over anger and actions. So he went from being this nice guy to being somebody who was controlling and aggressive and couldn't stop himself from doing things.
Mm.
So no, it wasn't a good thing, but we were married and I didn't feel like I could just go up and leave him because of what had happened.
Mm.
I didn't see it as his fault, which is not a good way to be when you've been raped and abused within a relationship.
No.
Yeah. It was very self-destructive to me.
Mm.
And eventually he saw the damage that he was doing to me and he left me. Because he couldn't bear to keep hurting me.
Mm.
So...
Bill.
Yeah,
Stupidest thing I've done for love.
Can we get onto something so...
Yes.
Stupidest thing I've done for love is read the Bible.
Sorry,
That's
Jen,
fun.
someone has beat you.
He has beat you.
Honestly, that's my honest answer. That is the stupidest thing I've done for love.
Was the expectation that you might find something real in it?
Is there something real in it?
So, it sort of, maybe, sort of. That was when I was in my full-on delusional Illuminati believing cannot leave the house because everything is a symbol, everything is trying to mind control me, So I was looking for something, I guess. I did kind of that it might actually be legitimate, that it might be real. But yeah, no.
Interesting. Jeff?
No, I think I would have got, it's going to be a dull answer, but probably, as I said there, probably stayed in the relationship longer than I should have done. That probably would be my answer, to be honest. I will say that the person in question I am still very good friends with, but in all honesty, probably would have saved me a lot of pain if I ended it myself about a year beforehand, because I think I knew deep down that it wasn't really going anywhere, but didn't want to believe that. So
makes sense. Right. Question 182. If you were given 1,000 acres of land, what would you do with it? And as a side note, what's an acre of land?
You're not going to make me Google that, are you?
About 5,000 square kilometers, is that right?
No.
Kilometers?
What?
No, that can't be right.
No, it's not. Sorry, that's
way
wrong.
too
No,
much.
sorry. You can quarter
5,000
acre
square
blocks.
meters,
Sorry, 5,000. Yeah, I meant 5,000 square meters, not kilometers.
Okay. Yeah. That's
4,840 square yards. Yes, I admit I'm cheating. I am Googling that.
no,
Sorry about that. I actually meant meters, not kilometers. I just
So you're
did a
talking
flat
about
earth,
40,000 square kilometers.
That would be great. I would grow so much weed on that land.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Bill unmute so quick.
My answer from me.
So how many acres was it? Sorry?
1,000.
It's a lot of land.
Well, I'd probably sell half of it, so I'd have money.
Every time you're given land, you want to sell it.
I do.
No, I'd build on it.
Because it's all very well having that land, but if you don't have the money to do anything with it, what's the bloody point?
Yeah, pot seeds are cheap.
It's just
one
Sorry?
season of pot on the land, and you wouldn't need to sell any of it.
Yeah, you won't need to.
no, because I'd end up in prison.
I own that much land, it's mine, and they can't do anything. Shit. That's a bot. There's development on it. 1,000 acres is a tremendous amount of land. It's just a lot of fucking space. So yeah, I wouldn't sell it. I'd definitely develop on it.
I wouldn't sell all of it, but if you sold half of it, you'd get a shit ton of money, and I'd be able to use the other half the way I wanted.
No, land is future.
Okay. What would you do with the other half?
Well, if you had to.
What would I do with the other half?
Yes.
Oh, build on it, live comfortably on it. Maybe get some animals. I like animals. So
To start a ranch.
yeah.
I would build a park, right? Because teaching people about dinosaurs in the Bible.
I'll be right back.
Would you have lakes?
I might have a pond. I can't do Hove.
But that is not bad. That's getting better.
That wasn't bad.
Oh, you see, I hadn't thought about something public-y.
Shit, Julie, that's not good.
No.
Oh no!
How far down do you think? Has it just gone to the U-bend?
Well, that would be the
I'm
normal.
sorry to hear that, Julie.
I'm slightly boggled. A ring wouldn't fit down any of the drains here. I'm waving at someone that can't see me.
You nut. All right, next question. Are we done with this one?
Yes.
Well,
Oh, go on.
let me just quickly say. So, if Nanny had 1,000 acres of land, you said you would just leave it as land, didn't you?
Yeah.
And let people walk their dogs and ride horses on it.
Yeah.
I would build myself my anarchist
Paradise.
commune, like
Yeah.
have all my friends move in,
I'd be tempted to
have
do
a
that.
farm, all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Just all live on it.
See, I could do something along those lines, but I'm more likely to sell the land and deliver it and donate the money to like a revolutionary organisation, so we could all be.
Yeah, but the
big
problem is, I
commune,
think
but-
you need to lead by
Yeah, I mean,
example.
that-
I think
that
it's
would work.
doable.
That would work.
I think
Yeah.
starting an anarchist collective compound could work if you can
Yeah,
do
so
it
do
on a
I.
mass scale.
Yeah.
Big
I've
enough.
actually got I've got a lot of friends that all live around here that actually want to do it. That's one thing that we'd really like to do. If we could find a piece of land that was suitable and all sell our houses and stuff, and then basically just move onto it together, build our own.
Make a commune.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, that's it.
Yeah, commune would be fun. What's
quite
wrong with
like
that?
idea. No, I like that idea.
And technically, then you'd no longer be the owner of the land if it was a commune. You'd all
Yeah,
be the
it would
owner
be
of the
it would
land.
be communally owned. Yeah,
Yeah.
like everybody would own part of it. Yeah.
Right, we're
That's
about to
correct,
start
yeah.
a riot in the Ashby household. Question 180.
You know.
Question 183. Who is your most eccentric relative, and what is the most eccentric thing they have done?
Who is my most eccentric relative, Nanny?
Yeah, careful how I answer.
She's just having a look round. Yeah, this is definitely my most eccentric relative.
Can I say, is this living or dead?
They're living and dead's fine. Either.
Okay.
Words don't work anymore.
Probably,
My cousin Leslie, she lives out in the middle of nowhere and just looks after animals. And she does not like human company at all.
How is that eccentric? That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it does sound quite nice.
She is kind of eccentric, though.
Hmm.
I mean, she would live in abject poverty for herself as long as the animals were all right.
Fair enough.
Oh, she's not in abject poverty. She's rich as all hell. She actually owns this house.
Hmm.
She is lovely, but she's eccentric. I love her to bits, but she's eccentric.
See, I possibly have said my grandfather, though. I don't really view him as an eccentric. Just maybe had one or two eccentricities, perhaps, but not really. Trying to think of some of the things he. Oh, he I don't necessarily say this is an eccentric thing, but more just because he was a he was like to be a bit of a wind-up merchant and prankster, and would just insert little things into conversations to see what he could get going. But he managed to do that in the local post office one day, and managed to cause a panic because just for some reason there happened to be a load of police cars zooming up and down the road and whatever, and something was going on. And anyway, across the road on the park, there was a circus there at the time. So someone just sort of said what was going on, and he just interjected, "Oh, didn't you heard? Apparently, a couple of the tigers have escaped." And he just sort of just left that going, and it just sort of fed on itself to the point where suddenly it was around the whole blooming village that 2 tigers had escaped the circus, and the police were trying to put them down.
Capture them.
Yeah.
Julie
that's
says,
cruel.
my Aunt Janet, she protested at the School of the Americas and helped smuggle children into the US who needed asylum or heart surgery, and let's say extra legal means.
She sounds like a nice lady.
And she
though.
does again. How is that eccentric? I might have to work out what the hell the meaning of eccentric is, because you're describing very cool people. So, Bill, who is
Yes.
your nan's most eccentric relative?
Oh, who's your most eccentric relative? Live or dead? Who's the most eccentric relative you've had? You can think of?
Not really. I
No.
can't remember.
Not me then. You shouldn't
There you
see
go.
the look I got then.
There you go. You're too boring, Bill.
Yeah.
Boring Bill. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't remember.
No. Sal? Gone again.
What about you, Dave?
I'm trying to think, and I don't think I have anyone eccentric at all. My family's quite boring. I mean, my grandfather on my mother's side was a bit like Jeff described, a bit of a prankster. And very good with a wind-up story. I mean, he had us convinced as kids that he was a Viking, and that he'd been alive forever. And we had this. We got this Ladybird Viking book. And we go, and he goes, "I'm in that." They drew me in that. And we're going to it, and I said, Where are you? And he got this bit where they're pulling the boat up on the shore. I said, I was behind the boat pushing there. And we ate this up.
Sal's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yes. Who is your
Your
most...
most eccentric.
Go on.
Sorry.
Go on, it's your show.
Your most eccentric. No, it's your show. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm going hide in my corner.
Who is your most eccentric relative? And what do they do?
See, that would be me and everybody in my family talking about me.
I knew you were going to say that, Sal. I just knew it. You were going to say you were the most eccentric.
See, if you can include
okay,
me...
So then I have, I guess... So I have family in Ecuador, and they've been in the government. You know, they've been part of the big government. So if you want to talk eccentric, then I would go with that route.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest, most of us here, we're on YouTube, and that we're probably the eccentric ones in our family.
Well, this is what I'm saying. If you include ourselves, I definitely think my family would say me.
Mm-hmm.
They think I'm an oddball.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think my family would actually say me.
Not to your face.
No, I don't think they would anyway. I mean, genetically, I might be the oddest ball in the family, but no, there are people in my family who are way older than me.
Like that there. Tom says, if you can't think of anyone, the eccentric person in your family is you.
Yeah.
And Doc says, can I vote for myself?
Yeah.
Right. Next question. Question 184. If you could hack into any one computer or phone, whose would you choose?
Oh.
So it has to be a person's.
Yes. Well, I'd go with a company.
Rupert Murdoch, because I'd love to wreck his company and him.
Amen to that. Yes.
If anyone deserves it, it's Murdoch, isn't it?
Yeah.
I definitely think he deserves it. Do you think you could get anything to bring? Do you think you could get enough to bring him down?
I reckon I could do him a fair chunk of damage.
Oh no.
I reckon he's got a bunch of skeletons in that closet.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
How is he doing, by the way? Has anyone heard from him in the last couple of weeks?
Oh, Murdoch?
Oh, yeah, we were on the phone the other... What the hell?
I wasn't implying that you knew him. I was implying as to whether or not he'd been out in public.
I don't know. He's bloody old, isn't he?
Yes.
No.
I mean, he could be dead for all we know.
Right?
You'll get a text from him in a minute, Dave, saying you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, right?
That'd be good.
Join the water.
Julie says Trump's phone. The problem is, I don't think there is any information about Trump
Right.
that will come out that will make a difference.
I think everything about Trump comes out anyway.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think. No, I think there are secrets. I think there are things that we know. We suppose that we don't have proof of, but that's not the point. I think the problem is his base is now so polarized
Yeah.
that I don't think anything. He won't dismiss anything as being fake, and then accept it.
I will say though, if you've got access to Trump's phone and get a hack phone, you've probably got access to his Twitter account.
But he'd just say he was hacked.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
But this is the thing. How could you put something so stupid out that, or whatever, to embarrass him when he puts so much stupid out himself anyway?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Trump would be a hard one to deal with. Now, you might be able to destroy Pence.
Pence would be easier to destroy. But again, the base you're talking about is pretty... I think the issue with Pence is you would get Pence to resign. I think Pence has got some morals. Well, no. Saying he's got some morals is wrong. I think Pence sticks to the morals that he's got.
He has morals, but they're not the same sort of morals as most other people have.
That's my point.
Right.
I think the morals that he has, he permanently Permanent? No, that word's gone. He sticks to. Bill, what were you going to say? It echoed back.
Me, I would probably go for Ruby Rose if I could hack anyone's phone or computer. I'd go for Ruby Rose, I reckon.
Right, who's Ruby Rose?
What about Ruby Rose? She's an actress.
Why Ruby Rose?
No, no idea.
Batwoman? You seen Batwoman?
No.
Or the Triple X movies?
No.
So you want to hack for porn purposes?
No, not exactly. Not exactly. More for
personal
knowing
interest.
enough people could then go, "Hi, my name," and just like know already what they were into. Do you know what I mean?
Ah,
right.
Yeah.
Tom Leach says George Soros.
I was going to say the head of the Federal Reserve.
Head of the Federal Reserve. That could be very dull.
Could it?
Yeah. Julie says she'd love to send out pro-LGBT and pro-choice tweets from Trump's phone. To be quite honest, I think they'd be more fun from Pence's.
or Stephen Anderson's.
Yeah, Stephen Anderson's definitely.
Oh, I wish you could do more with a hack. And people actually believed stuff. And I'm trying to think of what piece of information you could release on someone nowadays that couldn't be relatively easily dismissed.
Picture? Video?
Well, why would they...
I literally don't do anything.
No.
Huh?
This is it.
Well,
especially now that they've got the AI thing where they can actually fake video and fake audio, I don't think there's anything that if someone wanted to dismiss or get away with that they couldn't these days.
I mean, I think the hack would have to be... I can think of a few people that I would hack out of personal interest so that I could get information because I want to know something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But in terms of being useful, I don't think it's anywhere. I think it would be much more useful 20 years ago.
I don't know, if you hacked Rupert Murdoch in such a way that you could get access to his bank account, so it could be fun.
But Rupert Murdoch is interesting. Company people are interesting because Rupert Murdoch, you don't have to convince the general populace that he's done something wrong. You only have to convince the board.
Company.
Yeah.
That's right.
It might be more interesting to find someone that people got a good impression of and find some dirt on them,
Yes. There we go. Hack an astronaut's phone and send messages that the moon landings were fake.
Awesome.
From Sammy.
Oh.
I wonder where Manda is. She would love that. She'd have absolutely loved it.
She would love that.
Question 185. What is your most interesting quirk?
Well, from a physical perspective, being a chimera.
I so want to take the piss and go, oh, you can change colour?
That's a fucking chameleon.
I know it is. But is it the problem? The problem you've got is there are enough people that will watch this that don't have a clue and would accept that as a response.
Yeah, they would. But you don't mean physical quirks. You mean
No, I don't.
personality.
Yes.
Personality quirks.
Uh,
But I've got to assume that affects your personality too.
I wouldn't have no idea. Oh, it'd have to because it's a biological thing. So
Yeah, but see, quirks are basically habits. So I don't know my Well, I know my habits, but people notice my habits. I don't notice my habits because it's muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
How about the fact that I cannot stop fiddling with something like nail clippers or the little tiny stand that I've got in here? Whenever I'm on a stream, you'll always notice that I'm fucking fiddling with something. I just can't stop it. I gotta keep my hands busy.
I'm a bit bad with that as well, Jen, actually, so...
It's shocking.
But is it
I just can't sit there and not use my hands. It drives me mad.
How interesting is that?
I don't know that's interesting, but it's definitely a fucking quirk.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah.
Tom Leach says, she's a chameleon though. I watched her change colours and fade into the background once. It was amazing.
I wish I had that power. There is times when that would be fucking awesome.
Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. I wish you could hear some of these answers when they first come out. No, because what quirks, Nanny? You haven't got any quirks, have you? No. Apparently, neither of us have got any quirks. I'm perfect, and I get it from my nan. According to me, one of her quirks is that every time she leaves the house, she stuffs a tissue in every available pocket. So left pocket, right pocket. She takes like 6 tissues out the house at a time.
I thought you were going to say something else for a second then.
Julie says, I compulsively memorise poetry and dialogue from films and TV shows I like.
Oh.
I think I've done that, but I wouldn't say I compulsively do it. I like it. Ooh. I like the next question. That might be...
Oh, I can draw pretty...
You can draw what?
I can draw pretty even circles. Like I can make a pretty...
Don't say perfect.
By hand, yeah, freehand.
Freehand.
I've
You can draw a perfect circle.
By freehand.
No, not a... He did not say perfect.
No, he didn't.
He said pretty close to perfect.
Right.
Don't be pedantic, Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
I mean, I was just trying to cause trouble.
No.
I know. I think that's yours, great.
Okay.
Right, question 186. If you could change 3 things about your country, what would you change?
Prime Minister?
Yeah, government for one.
Right, changing the whole government is not allowed.
I said Prime Minister. That's
Yeah,
not
Prime
the whole
Minister I
government.
can accept.
Well, as a Yank, healthcare for sure.
Yeah, healthcare's good.
I don't know. Better. I like my country.
Renationalise the railways for a start.
Yeah. Yeah, make transportation free.
Yeah.
And
Free education.
yeah, there you go.
Do you not have free education?
Nope.
We do not have free education.
Do you not?
We do not.
No.
You have to pay for university and high school. There are fees. It's subsidized, but there are still fees.
Yeah, in America you have public schooling, but and that can be free. But once you get past that and you graduate from high school, you got to pay.
I mean, we've got to pay for university now, although it's weird.
Yeah.
I find it really weird that I didn't pay for university. I got a grant.
You can get the government loans for it. You can get government loans for it, and you don't have to pay them back until you're earning a certain amount of money. But they're still student loans. They're better than American student loans, though, because you're not debt for life.
Right. Over here, they get you. They're like, oh, you want to go to school? Sure.
Do you know what? It's one of those things I think
crippling
is really weird about this country.
Huh?
I got grant and fees paid under a Tory government, and it was a Labour government that removed it.
Yeah, it was.
That's one of the things I am most pissy about for Labour about, because I think it is beneficial to the country as a whole.
I'd also like there to be what's that system? The welfare for all system that they've been trialing in.
Are you talking about universal
Sweden?
income?
Yeah, universal income.
Sorry, missed that, Bill.
Yes, UBI.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, universal basic income. My bad.
Basic income,
Okay,
yeah.
right. 3 things you're saying, right? Okay, renationalise the railways. I would rename Windsor Lower Slough just to annoy them.
Bill's gone.
And I would change the national anthem to Either Big and the Wanker song.
Well, at least you're creative.
Yeah.
UBI really, really pisses me off.
Really?
No, not as in I'm against it. I'm very, very for it. It pisses me off because it is something that has been modelled and demonstrated to work.
Yep.
Okay.
It's been put into place in it is Sweden, isn't it, where they've actually done it?
I can't remember.
Finland, thank you.
Finland, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but the problem you have is that if you hold that, it gives people a level of freedom that is anti-capitalist.
Yep.
Yeah, but
I'm not seeing the problem with that personally.
No,
but...
the problem is that the people that we need to persuade to do it in government are against it for that reason. Right? I mean, I think we are much likely... It's weird, I'd never really considered it, but I think we might find a better way of organising society with a base level of income rather than trying to do everything equal lower.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I'm not convinced, but I think we might. I think there are certain things that are more achievable with well-funded central government.
Agreed.
But it has to have you have to bring everything has to come back down is the problem.
Yeah.
And that's where the people that you end up in power. You got people like Trump. You have America that was badly organised, but reasonably well took care of some of its populace. And then you can see what happens when you get someone like Trump in power that doesn't give a shit about most of the populace and only cares about enriching a small amount of it.
Right.
Okay.
So it comes down to being able to supply the demand and keeping that supply cheap enough so that if you can't or don't want to afford a higher income, the cost of living matches or is
But
much
this is the
lower
thing.
than
I mean, the
income.
biggest advocate for this, the person that demonstrated that a lot of the socialist policies work, was one of the biggest capitalists of the 20th century. It was Ford.
Yes.
Ford demonstrated that you've got to pay your workers a decent wage, that you need to treat them decently, otherwise they can't buy anything.
Yeah, agreed. But see, what I'm getting at is like, okay, fine, you want to be cheap bastards. They're being greedy with their trade. Like the cost of trade is stupid. Like the cost of something doesn't cost $20; it costs 10 cents, and there's where we're paying for it.
But the point is that is capitalist in its nature. The cost, right? This is what people don't seem to understand. We live in a system that people don't understand. The point of capitalism is that people pay what people are willing to pay. What something costs, what its value is,
you also get what you pay for.
Is irrelevant. No, you don't. That's what it should be. Okay, what it is people pay what they are willing to pay. That's the capitalist model. If something costs you 10 cents...
And that's where you get something like the pink tax, where certain items that are exactly the same for men and women are more expensive for women. And it's not because it typically costs more to make that. It's just that women in general have been more prepared to pay it.
Yes. Very much so.
And that's capitalism.
Yes.
That's fucked up.
But it might be different over there, but here in America, you do get what you pay for because there is the cheap stuff.
No, you don't. America is way worse.
No, you don't.
From an outside perspective, it really is. The number of things that you get in America that are unbelievably cheap, but still at the same price. I really opened my eyes when I started watching reviews of American cars. And the cars that you get in America that are effectively the same car as here, but everything in it is more flimsy. They cheap out.
Terrible.
I understand that point, but I'm going down even a step lower, not because that's somewhat of a luxury for a lot of people. Getting a car, getting into a brand new car that might have, quick manufacturing might exclude certain things, and you pay for those extra perks in a car. Okay, there is that option. That's the capitalistic part about it. But what I'm getting to is the normal consumer of the American public will go to the 99-cent store to save $1, and the quality of product.
Oh no! I totally agree with you. Yeah. I mean, it's happened all the world. The biggest one that's obvious in this country, because it's talked about a lot, is white goods.
Okay.
Right, we can't get you go into most stores now. You can't get a washing machine that'll last you more than 3 years. Well, I've still got my parents' washing machine from 20 years ago. Say again.
Deliberately so.
Yeah, well, not just deliberately so.
Designed to nail at the point of manufacturer's warranty, but anyway.
No, but the point is that they've said outright that they stopped making washing machines that would last longer because people wouldn't pay the extra for them. Right, and they're right. Right, if I can go out and get a washing machine for £100, why would I pay for the £400 model?
Yeah.
Right, and this is the problem. Again, it's another mentality thing. I've got not a massive amount of problem. At the end of the day, right, if you work the way business works, which is the way you should tend to work under a capitalist society, you should always be looking at the total cost of ownership. Okay? So you want a washing machine for 20 years. You can either buy 4 washing machines that last 5 years, or one washing machine that lasts 20 years, but costs 4 times the price. Right? That's how you should look at these things rationally. But the problem is, as we have seen, people are more interested in marketing and the money that's in their pocket right now. And that's where we end up.
Even governments do the same thing.
Yeah, it's worse. Governments have got... America is a fantastic example of that. Because of look at how bad their roads have got. Just because they
we
stopped...
have the same thing here with roads. Yeah, we have the same thing here. Like road repairs in Western Australia, the government gets multiple quotes. Most companies, because I've actually spoke to somebody who works for one of the companies that does the road repairs here, and they go, we always deliver 2 quotes from our company. One is for the repair that will last, the resurfacing of the road that will last 10 to 15 years, and one is for one that will last 3. Yeah. And the government always takes the 3 because that's basically a term of government, and they don't see any further than that, and it saves them money on the bottom line.
Yes, completely agree. Right, I'm going to quickly...
But in the long term, it costs the country shitloads more.
Oh, we've got it now here. We've been getting... You know that when the Tory government got in... Say again? I
was just saying that's the thing with system anyway. Capitalism is a very short-term based.
Yes, but it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
The whole point of capitalism... No, it doesn't need to be short-term is the point. The point is, right, if the issue we've got now, again, if you read the philosophy of it, if you read Adam Smith's stuff, capitalism is meant to be regulated. He outright says the merchants have no country. Right? You should not trust the people that are selling. They will go to the cheapest place. If you want a company to behave ethically, you have to regulate it. Right? Capitalism requires harsh regulation to work.
Yes.
Full stop.
Yeah.
Right? This idea of getting rid of red tape, getting rid of this, getting rid of the other, that breaks it. You then just have people that are willing to exploiting. That's all there is.
It's what's happening right now with medical supplies here in America.
Oh,
exactly what
hell.
you just described.
I haven't seen how much of the stories coming out of there are true, but if they are true, it is truly horrific.
Well, when I have actual relatives who have been diagnosed with it. Like my cousin posted a video on Facebook. She can barely breathe. She's getting over it, but it's hit my family, and they can't get fucking tests. Like her brother's still waiting to get tests. There's nothing. Like we're waiting. Some states got on top of it. Like I'm in California, and we have a mayor who actually acted very quickly and It doesn't feel as bad as it does for my family in New York. But Florida's fucked. Like yeah, it's they're outbidding each other for supplies that we need. Like, it's ridiculous.
Georgia's another place that's literally their governor only just recently found out that perfectly healthy people or seemingly healthy people can pass it on to other people. Oh dear, oh dear.
But the point is, this information's meant to come down from the federal government at the end of the day. You don't expect the governors to be experts. This is why they have, or meant to have, teams, people, departments that have this information. Right, let me just quickly catch up with the chat because I'm so far behind. Julie says, the president, the vice president, and the climate change policy.
Okay.
Say again. Julie said, I've just lost it again because I popped back.
Yeah, we went off a tangent there, I think.
We did, which is why I just want to quickly count. Julie said, the president, the vice president, and climate change. We're still looking at 3 things we change. We pretty much tried to destroy Western civilization in the process.
I still have my list.
We'll get to you. Yes. Right. Tom says, remove the disparate impact standard from law. That solves all the problems we have. Doc Fearsome says, legalize weed, and legalize weed.
Actually, I'll go.
That's a waste of your 3 abilities.
But that could fall under healthcare, so.
Yes.
I'll say to Doc Fearsome, I might go one more on that and adopt the Bill Hicks thing of not only legalising marijuana but making it mandatory.
There you go. Step further.
I've just noticed something really stupid, and I can't believe no one pointed it out.
What?
Godless Scummer's not on the screen.
Number?
Oh, good lord, so I'm not.
I knew I only had 4 people.
Because none of us, we're only looking at StreamYard, we're not looking at the thing.
Dave, honestly, it's an improvement not to have me on.
I thought you knew, Dave. I've been sending you tweets. Like, hey, you can't see Jeff.
Have you? I don't see Twitter.
Okay, now I'm on there now, so... Okay.
Alright, well, sorry, I'm still catching up with the chat. Julie says, wait, I want to change my answer. Scale back the power of the executive branch, the policy on climate change, and UBI. It's so funny hearing US politics filtered through all of you. I assume Tom Leach is from the US.
Wait.
Tom Leach. But the race to the bottom exists. So if you combat monopolies, then capitalism doesn't allow people to charge just what they want. Then the supply and demand equation does. Yes, it does. Julie says Medicaid for all, US version of Universal Health Corps, which will be so much cheaper than our current system. I think we need Julie as president.
Okay.
Have we got everything? Probably. I am so far behind. Good point. They're arguing about Medicaid.
No.
Who owns hospital?
It sucks. It sucks the way they run it. I've gone into
I like that.
Been turned away.
Listening to a Brit explain how my government was framed and intended is like listening to one of us tell you how to fix your social issues. Utter lacking of nuanced understanding. That doesn't surprise me. Tom says, that is a great leap forward for the medical industry, but once the government has singular control over healthcare, who do you appeal to if they tell you no? That's what terrifies. Yeah, but it doesn't change the fact that your health... the problem you've got is America refuses to acknowledge that it has an entire society of people that are not covered by healthcare. An entire strata of society. Okay? Every country that has socialised healthcare has better outcomes for virtually everyone.
And healthcare is a right, not a fucking privilege.
Oh, it's not a right. I disagree with that. I think it's something good that should be provided by the state, but I'm not convinced it's a right.
I think it should be.
Why?
Yeah, I think it should
because it's got to be provided by someone, and I think you can't have a right that has to be provided.
But it's healthcare. It's making sure people are healthy so that you don't get sick.
Right, but yes, because then you've got public health as a much wider issue. Anyway, I need to get back to Bill. I'll get this question out. Bill, which
Yes.
3 things would you change?
Okay, so a lot of them have already been covered with the whole free education, free transport, etc. One of the main things that I would like to change is our electoral system from first past the post to true proportional representation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go with
And
that.
that would cover almost everything, I think. Once you've got a fair electoral system, then it would be much better. Especially in the UK, where we have multiple political parties. Do you know what I mean? Like, I hate UKIP. I hate their ideals. I hate what they stand for. But it is ridiculous that they got some millions amounts of votes and not a single seat in Parliament. That is ridiculous.
But the same thing. The same thing is for Lib Dems and Greens.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a Green Party voter all the time. My nan's Conservative voter. I vote Green all the time, and it's ridiculous the percentage of the vote that they get compared to the number of MPs they have. It's so wrong.
Can we not have a sane Green Party? Can I really want a sane Green Party?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I know some of their ideas.
Oh, we lost Phil. We
What?
lost him.
We lost him.
He's back, he's
What
back.
did you do, Dave?
I didn't. He went. Go on. What did you say?
No, I was just saying I vote Green because, like, they're the only ones that are nearest to my political beliefs. I mean, I live in a staunchly conservative area.
Well, this
My
is the
vote
point. I can't vote
essentially-
Green. I cannot vote anything other than I vote. Shall we say?
Yeah. I mean, so like, my vote is wasted. It's entirely wasted. It's completely pointless me voting because I live in a staunch conservative area.
Yes.
Where I'm only ever going to get a Conservative MP. I've got no hope. So my
So you
vote
are
is
far
completely
better to vote. Yeah,
useless.
you are far better to. No, I live. I mean, I think the results at the election before last. No, the one we know. Yeah, we're 56 votes between Tory and Labour.
Right. So there you go. So then you're better off voting Labour for sure.
Very much so. I'll tell you where it is later.
I will
'cause it's
tend to
funny.
vote Labour over a Green, though, personally. Much issues as I got with the Labour Party.
At the end of the day, I would. Okay, here's the issue. If Green actually voted, if Green's policy reflected scientific consensus, I would vote Green every time if it was an option. At the moment, in the UK, their opposition to nuclear in the face of climate change is idiotic.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm in agreement with that. I am in agreement with that.
I mean, I'm not even saying they need to propose. I'm not even saying they need to support nuclear, but their opposition to it, in light of where we
It's
are.
ridiculous. Yeah, it is. We do need to. It needs to have a sensible conversation.
Yes.
We do need to have a sensible conversation because we don't. I mean, we can get a lot of our energy from renewable sources.
Yes.
A lot of it, because of the fact that we're an island, we can get a lot of it from wind power, wave power, etc. Brilliant. But nuclear power does have to be an option.
But it's worse than that. There's no reason. This is what really annoys me about these conversations. There's absolutely no reason that we can't move our economy further towards gas in the short term, as long as we regulate it that they can't release the CO2 and they've got to contain the CO2. There's absolutely no reason. We have got the sort of gas that we can do this with.
But also, the thing is,
Yeah.
You're muted.
You muted, Bill.
oh, sorry. You know why we won't move towards gas, though, don't you?
Why?
The main reason we won't move towards gas is because although we've got a lot of gas here, the top up to the supply would have to come from Russian Eurasia,
Yes.
and obviously we're not going to take anything that the Russians have anything to do with at the moment, because there's this historical thing going on between our government and the Russian government that's been going on for years and years and years and years and years, which is completely insane, completely pointless nonsense.
The problem we've got
But,
is
yeah.
we saw it recently. Depending on any non-aligned country I will go with, has caused problems. In the political climate we've had over the last few years, being too dependent on Russia has caused us problems. Not us problems, sorry. Has caused...
Cause other people problems.
Yes. I think we need. It's one of those things where people talk about energy security and making sure you've got your own. I think the solution is not to make sure you've got your own. I think it's too expensive. I think it's to make sure you've got diverse.
Yeah.
Diverse sources.
I agree.
Right. Let me.
This is where we need Amanda. I'm sure Amanda would have loads to
I know!
this topic.
I don't know if I was clear enough that we were changing times. I think I might get into trouble.
It's all right.
Legalize that. I'm going to try and catch up again. Legalize weed, remove religion from state completely, legalize euthanasia. I'm happy for all of them.
Yep.
Me too.
Collective bargaining, opposed to public health. Disagree. Oh, we started. Right. I think we might have to have a general political debate at some time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like these conversations, and I'm trying to hold it back and yes.
Hey, Amanda.
Morning.
She's here.
She's here. Hey, Amanda.
Yes. Tisk tisk.
Tisk.
It's just not good enough, Amanda.
I'm gonna have to make more coffee.
Mandy had a sleep in.
Amanda, I just want you to know, I totally just do not want to be associated with that Mandy remark, okay?
I think she's in for I don't know if she's going to live that one down. People seem to want to keep it going. Every Mandy remark. Right. Question 180.
I still prefer the Luke Skywalker as a whiny little shit, though.
Yeah, it's getting old.
It's getting, I think it's run its course, actually.
The Luke Skywalker one.
Yeah, I think it's starting to run its course a bit now.
It was fun, though.
I really wish I could make Twitter notify me when I actually get messages. Right. Question 187. Do big romantic gestures make you happy or embarrassed?
Not embarrassed, definitely.
Yeah, embarrassed.
Yeah.
Sal?
Depends on who's doing it. Like if we're in a fight and they're doing it, yeah, it makes me happy. But if they catch me off guard, I might be embarrassed.
Fair enough. Bill?
What do you think, Nanny? Big romantic gestures? Are you into big romantic gestures? Embarrassing or happy? What do you reckon? Would you like Grandad to do some big romantic gesture, or would it have been embarrassing for you? Embarrassing. Yeah. I think we're going with embarrassing as well. Yeah.
So no one likes them.
Miserable.
Small romantic gestures, though, are nice. The small romantic gestures are nice.
Yes. So, but who is it that likes to be proposed to on the jumbotron? I mean, I think a proposal on something like that would be horrific. How could you say no?
I agree.
I mean, I would, even if I wanted to answer no, I would say yes, and then as soon as the cameras were away, I'd say yeah, no, the relationship's over.
In all honesty, if somebody did that to me, I would probably answer no, even if I meant yes.
You're cruel and heartless.
So
You destroy them publicly.
No, because I'd be so upset that they would do that to me when they know I wouldn't like it. I would think somebody who could do that to me and profess to love me obviously doesn't know me well enough to know that it would upset me that they did it.
Math Pig says he loves making huge romantic gestures. To anybody?
You forgot the embarrassing in that.
Sammy says they make him happy. So we're all going to turn up on his doorstep at some point. In 2020,
Sammy is a real romantic. He said in one of my really late night streams that the kind of romantic person he has been,
Yes.
especially with his wife. And
Yes.
he is one hell of a romantic. He really is.
And he wants things to be
That's a-
perfect.
It's the thing with me. I'm just not a romantic person at all. I'm just not.
I am, but I don't like getting embarrassed.
I like new romantic music.
Yes, I like new romantic music. Right. Oh, that's fine. Right. Question 188. I've just covered it up. Who do you consider the most impressive famous person alive today, and why?
Famous person alive today.
Impressive famous person.
Oh, impressive. Okay, that makes it harder.
I mean, the most famous person alive today would almost certainly be Trump.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. But as in somebody who you could admire.
Yes. And there are lots of reasons you could admire someone, so...
You could admire Trump if you admired con men.
Exactly. But
Famous and admirable.
Say again?
Bill Gates.
Jackie Chan.
Why Jackie
Well, that's a
Chan?
good one too.
Why Jackie Chan? See, I don't know very much about Jackie Chan, so...
So I was into kung fu when I was younger, and there's a certain, I guess, a certain mental ability that comes with practicing it, and he's one of the epitomes of the practice of kung fu. At least on the screen, there's better. But if you're talking about famous that people know about, then I have to name him. There's bigger masters. There's bigger people. He just has a way of presenting it on the screen that I notice.
Bill?
Bill.
You muted Bill.
Yeah, me. So, right, okay. So you said you said Prince Philip, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nanny says Prince Philip. I say Sir Tim Berners-Lee, in my opinion, is the most impressive, famous person. The fact that I discussed this with Jim from Atheist Edge the other day when he was on that drunken rant, when he was on Math Pig's channel, when he was on that drunken rant.
Yeah.
And he was going on about the internet was created by America, la di da di da, and I was like, well, actually, no, it wasn't. It was invented by Sir Tim Berners-Lee when he was working.
No. No, the World Wide Web was invented by Tim Berners-Lee.
Yeah.
The internet wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, the HTTP, the World Wide Web, what we know as the internet was invented.
Yeah, but the internet is much more than that.
And he gave it to them for free.
The internet is much more than that.
The World Wide Web is not the internet.
Very
It
much
is a
not.
very, very
The World
small
Wide Web
part of the
exists
internet.
on the internet.
Yes.
The problem I have with saying Tim Berners-Lee is the ideas were around before. He, and this is the problem with being from that industry. Xerox.
There were other markup languages before HTML.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't a new idea. It was.
He produced it. He
repackaged.
turned something into. He turned an idea and he turned it into something practical that could be used. And for that, he is rightfully remembered.
And he could have patented it and made it a lot.
No,
of
he
money,
couldn't have patented
but he
it.
didn't.
He couldn't have. There was nothing in that was unique. He wrote it. He could have copyrighted it and sold the software. He couldn't have patented it. The idea was the idea of interlinking documents and markup languages. They were all out there.
Yeah.
I mean, the time. I mean, it's one of those things. I wish I'd kind of been alive, although I kind of like the time I'm alive now. But during the period of Xerox. Xerox was a fantastic powerhouse of ideas and knowledge coming through, but they got so stuck on the stuff they did in terms of photocopiers and things like that lots of people left, and they created. I mean, they basically created Microsoft and Apple and all the companies that came out. They were all people that had come through and latched onto
Through
this.
Xerox, yeah.
Yeah.
Even as Tom says, he's saying TCP/IP is the foundation of the internet. There were other protocols. TCP was an amalgamation of different ideas to serve a function.
Yeah.
So there were lots of people building on the ideas of other people.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're not wrong to say the US invented it. From the perspective of they brought it
because the majority of the people who worked on it were in the US, yes.
Yeah. But the World Wide Web, 100%.
It's all paid for by military contracts as well.
Yeah.
For universities and military. Yeah.
Well, if you think back to probably we could argue where the initial germ of it was, possibly packet switching, and that's that was definitely an American concept.
No.
Yeah. Certainly was suggested by an American first.
Maybe not.
So this is the thing.
Dave doesn't remember.
The problem is, it's like turning around and saying, who invented the computer?
Charles Babbage.
No, who invented the modern computer?
That was a great effort by lots of people.
Say again?
Wait
there, what did Bill say?
Manchester University. The first modern computer at Manchester University.
I don't know whether or not it was based out of university, but the point being, it came out of the guys at Bletchley Park.
Bletchley, yeah.
Tommy Flowers is the name of the man who built it. Alan Turing's generally the guy who gets the credit.
Right, and the point being that
it was Turing's innovation.
Right.
But he wasn't the engineering behind it.
Right, and
he didn't know how to build it.
We then decided to keep it secret, but let the CIA know about it. So it didn't come out that we'd done this until the 90s. So the US has got the we invented the computer history.
Yeah.
Because they apparently...
But yeah, the first computer was Manchester University.
Fair enough. I'm more than willing to believe that. My memory is terrible. Right. I forgot. Most famous person's life. I think Tim Berners-Lee would be up there. I can't... In terms of trying to... I wish I could say Bill Gates.
I'm not saying Bill Gates for Microsoft. I'm saying Bill Gates for his humanitarian side.
Yeah, but his humanitarian stuff, he has... It's got better, shall we say.
Definitely got better.
Yeah, I'm talking Bill Gates now, not Bill Gates, the businessman who was a prick.
No,
Bill Gates
the point
now.
being that Bill Gates, I can't say that word.
Philanthropist.
Yes. He started with education, and he forced through his charitable donations the Microsoft stuff on lots of schools in the States, and broke a lot of things.
See, I really don't know how to answer this question because I'm such a bloody cynic.
Hey, Amanda.
Anyway, so, Amanda.
Better late than never.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Run it through the last. How many questions we had?
How many questions have we had? I've no idea. 180. We're on question 10.
Shut the fuck up, Sal. I'm still waking up. Don't make me answer a bunch of questions at once. No, move on.
Right. Okay.
Nanny, say hello to Amanda.
Hello, Amanda. Hi. Nice to meet you.
We have to reorganise now because I was going to do the last question.
So, Amanda,
What?
what was your answer?
What was the question? What was the question? I didn't hear it.
Go on, Dave.
Oh!
Amanda, just say Mark Sargent, all right?
Yeah.
Oh, are we still talking about... I answered it. It said... I don't know. Bill Nye or Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, yeah, you've typed that in the chat.
I'm sorry, I'm doing terrible at following the path. Let me do the chat answers.
That's not your fault. That's Jen's fault.
It's
She
Jen's
wasn't paying attention.
Dave's famous.
what?
Hey, someone says me. Momma Atheist, Bill Nye, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Carl Sagan.
Sagan's
They
dead.
missed Carl Sagan.
Sammy says David Attenborough. Julie says Momma Atheist. But I think she was messaging her. Sammy says Steve Irwin.
Carl
Well,
Sagan.
no, she says Momma Atheist and lots of love for Carl Sagan. So
I thought the qualifier here was the person had to be alive.
They do.
So we're getting Carl Sagan.
I
and
said
Steve
because I
Irwin
said I missed Carl Sagan.
Okay.
I wish it were him.
Yeah. Oh, him over Grass Tyson, definitely.
Go on, Jeff. Who do you want?
Honestly, I don't know how to answer this because I'm such a bloody cynic about people.
I know what you mean.
I always see the trouble is I always find something that about someone that makes me think they're an arsehole. So
The problem is no one's perfect, and we live in a society where we can't accept that.
And this is trying to think about who's got the most good qualities. This is where perhaps there's a problem. I tend to be a bit too much of a cynic to be able to answer this one properly. So.
This is why Tim Berners-Lee I quite like because I can't think of anything wrong.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything negative to say about it.
I can't think of anything offensive about Berners-Lee. No, not at all.
I might go Wozniak, but his choice of friends.
I
would
like
be a bit iffy.
Wozniak as a choice.
I don't know. Did you have one, Sal?
Yes, it was Jackie Chan.
Oh, you did. My bad.
Yeah.
Right. In which case, we shall move on to the next question.
Hee ho ho.
Hee-hee-ho-ho. Question 189. Would you rather go back to age 5 with everything you know now, or know now everything your future self will learn?
Yep. Go back to age 5 with everything I know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I do.
I don't know that I want to go back to age 5 with everything I know, because one of the things that I know now is that I fucking hated school.
Although you'd already know everything you needed to know, so you wouldn't have to go to school.
Well, you still have to at age 5. That's still mandatory.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't. I'd rather know everything I was going to know now, and then learn more.
I mean, yeah, I suppose I'd do better this time round. So I think
I wouldn't want to go back to 5. You can fuck off with that idea. There is no way I'm going
That's the
through all that
problem.
again.
I think a 5-year-old with the knowledge of an adult, should we say, between 30 and 50, would be insane. I think you go insane because people would treat you like a 5-year-old.
No, I know my place. I know where I have to do, and I'd be prepared for what's
You'd
coming.
be able to make it.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
My future.
I couldn't.
You couldn't. See, I think I could. I think I'd want to. I think the more again at 5, you are a. Well, I've forgotten the word. What sucks a lot? You're a vacuum for knowledge.
Prostitute?
You're a vacuum for knowledge.
Securities joke there. Jesus
I know.
Christ.
You're a vacuum for knowledge. So knowing everything you know now, and having that ability to suck knowledge in as you can at 5, would be fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
but there's no way I'd want to go back to being 5.
All day.
I've actually thought about this before. Because not necessarily back to 5, but like, if I went back and did it all over, but with knowledge, it would be great. But I would lose Angel, and that.
But he would be yes. But assume not. Assume Angel goes off fine.
So I still end up having him, or
Yes, go on. That's
okay.
fine.
Well then, yes, I would. That's it.
I still wouldn't.
You still wouldn't.
I know,
But for
it's-
obvious
you're-
reasons.
You went through something different. That's why, and that's totally understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to make some different decisions, and and I think it would be great to know what I know now. And like Sal said, you'd be able to you'd have the knowledge enough to hide it, so that you don't get treated poorly because of what you know. So
But you still have to go to school and finger paint.
that's fine. I would.
I mean, if I could go
I'm
back
so
to
sick of
5 as...
adulting right now. Holy
Yeah.
shit! I'm done with it. Fucking done with it.
If I could go back to 5 as the me that I know me to be, and not the me that I was, other people thought I was then,
Yes.
then fine.
Well, that's what we're talking about, basically.
Well, then yes, I probably would then.
It's 5. Tom says you are too optimistic about how much more you're going to learn in the future. Julie says age 5 with everything I know now because I would be much more useful to society at large. When people say society at large, I think for some reason criminal. I don't know why.
I don't think you get any respect, even if you did know.
No.
Although to go back in time and no, see, I still have issues with that. I don't know that I'd be overly happy with it regardless.
You're overthinking it.
Yeah, I probably am.
Bill.
For good reason.
Yes.
Yes.
What about you, Nanny? What do you reckon? You probably wouldn't want to go back to 5 with all you know now, would you? Because you'd have to do that again.
Well, 5 years old.
Yeah, 5 years old, knowing everything you know now. You could go back to 5 years old, knowing everything you know now.
I wouldn't like to live through the war again.
No, I know. I can understand that. I guess you probably wouldn't. No.
Well, we're not talking about that. You go back to 5 now.
You'd be 5 now.
You'd be 5 now.
Right, okay. So you'd be 5 now.
In these circumstances.
In these circumstances, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not keen on it here, is
The thing is, even if you go, either way you do this, you go back in time, or you do it now. You're kind of fucked either way because the way things are going. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to go back, if you believe the universe is largely deterministic, which it appears to be, then you're going to have to do all that again, regardless. Even knowing everything you know now, you won't be able to change anything. It will be everything will happen in exactly the same way it did. And if that is the case,
I don't want that.
fuck that. No way.
But you having the knowledge would be different.
Yeah, but if the universe is deterministic, you having the knowledge won't make a difference. It is determined.
You
So
having the
therefore,
knowledge,
even
though,
with-
has to make a difference because by its very nature, the neurons in your brain have changed.
So, and we don't know that the universe is deterministic.
We don't know for sure, but it appears to be.
Time symmetry would suggest that it's not.
Going down that rabbit hole, Bill.
I was going to say, we'll leave that one for now. It might not be.
It might not be.
Right. What did Jeff say? You say? I know you didn't. You weren't keen on 5.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't really keen on it until now.
Sammy says, "I love you, Nanny Bill."
You.
Oh, thank you
Yeah,
very
she
much.
rocks, man.
Right. Question 190. What fact amazes you every time you think of it? I'm going to be a bit lenient on the word amazes there.
Amazes in a good way or a bad way?
That's why I'm going to be lenient.
Donald Trump's the bloody president.
That's one of the facts that I was thinking of that was not good.
Oh, that's a good one. 400 parts per million, I guess.
That amazes
I
you?
like Hank Green's one.
Which is
No edge.
yeah.
Oh, that's what I was fucking saying.
You see, I would
But
go.
the universe has no edge.
I would go with the fact that matter probably doesn't exist.
Oh, that's always a good one.
That it's all just energy.
I don't know, dark matter and dark energy, the fact that we still can't fucking figure it out. It drives me nuts, but it's also pretty spectacular too. So, and how much of the amount of the universe that is made up of this shit that we're just like, I don't know.
Yeah. The fact that most of our mass is not stuff, in the sense that it's the binding energy within it, momentum. It is really weird. MathPig says the Mandelbrot equation. The chances. Sammy says the chances of being born is mine. Any probability of anything happening that has happened is astronomically cool.
Except that because it's happened, the probability of it was 1.
Yes, but in terms of calculating it in advance, and the fact that we are having this conversation now, The fact that there are 7 of us sat here in various places in the world having this conversation, communicating this way, every single part of that is astronomically unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, again, could be could almost thinking of something going back to the last question. I could tell you now, at the age of 5, I would never thought something like this was possible. So,
I spent my childhood trying to make this possible. Say again,
yeah,
Bill?
well, giving my age away here, pre-internet.
Jeff talked again. Go again.
I was just going to say, I absolutely would not have ever thought this possible at age 5. I mean, I don't even remember at age 5, but I definitely wouldn't have thought this possible.
I remember so little of my childhood, but I didn't play that many computer games. I spent my time making computers talk to each other. This was the future I was trying to build.
Yeah, I probably remember. I don't remember from 5, but I remember quite clearly from about 7 or 8, and I was the same as you, Dave. This was the stuff I was trying to do.
I mean, at school on BBC microcomputers, I built chat clients so that people in different points on these BBC micros on the network, that it never occurred to anyone you could talk to people on the other side of them. And these kids thought this was fantastic, you know. And I wasn't really interested in the talking part of it, rather than the computers talking to each other to make it work, which I liked.
I never went near a computer. Like, the computers didn't exist when I was a kid. Like me, like the first time I actually got on a PC, I was like, I think 19 before I actually touched a PC.
How do you look so much younger than me?
How old are you, Bill?
I'm only 40.
He is younger than me! How is that possible?
He's younger than me, too. How are you so late getting to computers?
Because my parents were like non-computer people, like they never had a computer in the house, couldn't afford it. Like, just couldn't afford any sort of computer or anything like that, just couldn't afford it. So we didn't have one. So I had bikes and footballs and stuff like that, and was just told, out the house, like, come home from school, get out of the house, go play, go run, climb trees,
But did
go
you not
build
have
bases,
BBC
take this
micros?
machete, go and chop down a tree.
Because surely for you there was computers in the schools.
I mean, yeah, like sometimes I occasionally use a big.
We still don't know if we're alone. Doc says the idea that we'll never see the most distant galaxies because space is expanding faster than light.
That's a good one.
I've got one for the fact thing, actually. The fact that it takes a photon 150,000 years to get from the center of the sun to its surface.
Yes.
It's longer than that.
Not according to Professor Brian Cox, it's not.
It's arguable.
Okay.
It's a statistical thing.
Not that it's not authority, but it's just the book. One of his books I was reading the other day is one of his quantum physics for the layman. That was one of the facts.
Yeah, I'm sure when I was reading the paper on it, it was close to 1 million years. So
maybe.
But that could be just my memory. It's shocking.
Either way, it's a really, really long time.
It is a really, really long time.
It's stupidly long. I can't see an answer quickly. Right. Do we get any more there? No. Right. Sal.
Awake.
Yeah, no. I'm actually really thinking about this because you guys took all my answers, man.
you know you can repeat an answer.
I know. I was thinking about the fact that we'll never be able to see, we'll never be able to see the beginning of what we believe to be the beginning of the universe because we're that small, and that's a fact that amazes me that people just stuck on. Yeah, and the fact that light actually travels, but we can't see it in motion.
And you're right, Bill. I just checked it.
Cool. Good to know that I.
Well, actually, 100,000 years, but you were still way closer than my brain had it.
I should add. I just like this one, so I'll do this. I'm also amazed that I get to form friendships with people all over the world. You folks are amazing. From Julie.
Oh, that's so nice.
I know.
Aw.
You too.
Sammy, my interest in internet was always mostly porn until YouTube.
You too. You too.
It slightly depresses me, the things I'm not going to have an answer to. That I'm fairly certain there will
Oh,
be
did you
answers.
have to say that? Now you've depressed me.
Oh my.
Damn you.
Right, real quickly, I think we're going to have to drop out because I need to go and I've got things I need to do. I need to make coffee and I need to do the washing up. And
Have you got like 3 more minutes for the last question?
One more
Okay,
question.
all right.
One more
In
question.
that case, yeah, we'll probably have, yeah.
Okay, I will skip onto it straight away. Doo-doo. Right, question 191. If you had to live in the nest or burrow of an animal for a week, which animal would you choose?
Oh, Badgers, because he's interesting.
They've got there before me.
Although nerdies wouldn't be too bad either.
Nest of an
The
animal.
problem is, all those ones would be really, really small, and I'm not sure whether or not that would count. I don't know what I meant when I nicked the question. What was I thinking? See, if you've got to go to a human scale, I'd have to go with bears or
Yeah, like a
lions
den.
and tigers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anything as big as us have a nest?
The closest thing that comes to it is a bear when it hibernates. It burrows.
I think we're going to have to assume we're the same size as the animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did assume
Yes.
that.
Go on, Bill.
Yeah.
Do ostriches nest? Do ostriches have nests?
They stick their head in the ground.
They don't.
Yeah, they do, apparently. Emus. I fox. I'd quite to live in a fox's set, whatever they call it.
You could find out what noise they make.
Oh, foxes are noisy little buggers.
Yeah.
Especially when they're in coitus.
Oh, what's the Nemo fish? He lives in that poisonous thing.
That's quite cool.
Yeah.
Sea anemone
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Right, quickly in
and a
chat.
clownfish.
Sammy
And
says
clownfish
platypus.
sea anemone, thank you.
See, yeah. Sammy says platypus, and then wombat. Tom
Okay.
says dragon. I don't think you can
Can
have
we have
dragon.
fictional animals?
No, you can't. I think we can't have fictional animals
If we say Komodo
Well,
dragon, we
using
can have that
platypus.
one, can't we?
Why can't we use dragons?
because they're not real.
Could Sammy use platypus?
Platypuses are real.
I'm
Say that again, Jeff.
Well, if we let them say Komodo dragons, we can have that.
Yes.
We could have that.
Julie says an owl's nest because she likes trees and owls. Tom says a rock.
I would say something similar, probably something like a eagle or something. Just because I'm fascinated with birds of prey.
Do you get their ability to fly if you do that?
No, I was thinking that when he said eagle.
Oh, that'd be bloody terrifying, wouldn't it? Up on the
I don't know
side
about-
of a cliff.
Can you be to scale so that you could ride the eagle? But in which case, would you not more likely to be food?
Well, we'll just say any sort of
condors.
bird of prey, you know. Just say
There are
eagle,
condors.
whatever.
Condors.
Condors are huge. Yeah, they're huge.
You see, seabirds that live in cliffs would be quite a fantastic view out over the sea.
They look dirty.
Well, seagulls are assholes. Still.
Well, that's why I didn't say seagull. I said birds.
It doesn't have to be eagles. It doesn't have to be seagulls. It could be puffins or something like that.
Yes.
No, fuck the penguins. Fuck them. Fuck 'em.
Yes, they're up for that.
Poor thing.
I said puffins, not
I don't
penguins.
want to get into it. Fuck penguins. Oh my god.
Of course, if you Paul McCartney, you'd be choosing an octopus.
With how many legs?
Oh,
Stand up.
no.
Jeff for ages.
No.
There we go. No. So Tom says, if the universe is infinite, then somewhere there is a planet where dragons are real. If you believe in the multiverse theory, somewhere there's a universe where God is real.
Actually, does this have to be any kind of animal that's living state or extinct animals?
Extinct but real.
Yeah, so if I could say something like Tyrannosaurus Rex or something, just out of sheer curiosity.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't be alive for long, though.
We're assuming we're friends.
Okay.
I mean, half of
It's
it.
a good.
I mean, like I said, the problem with the eagle, if you were small enough to scale to be able to take full advantage of it, you'd be food.
Yeah.
Where does a Snuffleupagus live?
Snuffleupagus.
What's one of them? That's in Sesame
It's
Street.
a
Thank
fucking
you.
Muppet.
It's a Muppet.
Yeah, it's a Muppet. You're a Muppet.
By the way, I'll have you know. Say again?
Muppy.
I said there's lots of Muppets around here.
Yeah.
I will let you know now. I got into trouble for letting us have the angel answer to the Muppet question.
Really? No, screw that. I don't care.
I have to re-ask that question apparently at some time.
No, I will give the
Because he's
same
not a
answer,
Muppet, he's a
so
puppet.
I gave that qualification. I said I know he's not an actual
Yes.
Muppet, but still. So
Right. I shall wind up. I shall say thank you very much, Jen. Thank you very much, Manda. Thank you very much, Sal. Thank you very much, Bill and Nanny. And thank you very much, Jeff. And we might have a show this evening.
Yeah.
There are people screaming at me to do one.
We shall be there answering
Dumb questions.
That will suit Amanda better because she might actually be awake.
I'm sorry.
You can join us next time. And so can you if you haven't woke up too late. Caught the last question.
I will say.
Oh, well, there's no way I'm going to be awake for your evening one.
I can say thank you to everyone for coming. You have been a blast, and I really need to think about some sort of political debate at some point.
Oh, I
Back
was
to the end.
Bye.
Let's have a look. What have I got up here? State and Revolution, Communist Manifesto.
Bye.
Yeah, I've got a few things up there.